Okay, so let's jump into Teams. And if you draw your attention to the lower left-hand corner of the screen here, you'll see the two projects that we were working with earlier, the 1024 and the 1021. You'll see them down here at the bottom. And you'll notice that these teams, if I click on them, they'll have just the general channel, the out of the box channel that you'll get with any of these teams. So the automation that's running is creating the team and the team site with the general channel, basically nothing going on there. The idea is that since the project has been created, the schedule has been created, and the planner plan has been created up to this point, is we're going to want to bring those in to the team. So what we'll do is let's take a look at kind of the before and after with this sample of what one of these teams would look like after it has been set up. So here's this 1028 365 Exchange rollout. I'll go ahead and expand that. The first thing that you're seeing is that there's a main channel. So I'm of the belief just leaving the general alone. It's kind of almost like a landing place that we don't use, maybe for announcements. If you feel the need to use that, that's maybe a place that you can set up general. But what I'm recommending is you create something like a main channel, which has been created here, and then on this main channel are very specific tabs that you are using. So when I go to main, the very first thing that you'll see is files, and files is the library for this particular project team site right? So when the team is created and provisioned behind the scenes is a SharePoint site. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later, but just know that when you start storing content in the files area, that you're basically uploading content into this very specific SharePoint site that has been created in support of your team, right? Your team project site. Now, let's draw our attention back up to the top here and notice that I have a plan, a schedule, and I also have this QuickStart PPM tab at the top here. And these are basically links back to either the planner plan, directly to the schedule, or to the Power Platform app, essentially from the team. So that's really the idea behind the setup of each of these teams, is that when users come in and out of these various project team sites, that there's going to be consistency with the planner plans, access to the schedule, if they have access to the schedule, and then access to the project information. So there's that consistency there. And it's pretty straightforward. If I just go down here to the 1024, I'm going to come in from here. I'm going to add a channel, let's say. And so some of this is automated. Other parts of this solution, the expectation is that you have an admin, a PMO admin that is able to maintain this part of the solution where you're adding these links into each of the team sites. But notice that I can come in here and I can look for a particular app that I want to place inside my team site. Right, let's take a look. We're now in that 1028 365 Exchange rollout. And again, when you're working within the team and you start to upload content into this files area, that you're working directly with a library and a folder within a library in SharePoint. And that's important to know because one of the things that we can do when we start to provision these project team sites is we can also use Power Automate to customize that site so that if you require certain lists, certain hyperlinks or libraries to be available for each of those sites, we can do that at the point in which the site is actually being provisioned. So that's good to know, and it's a nice capability that you want to have as part of your team sites. So if I navigate now to plan, for example, because that connection was made back to the planner plan, I can work just simply directly in here to get to that plan. Notice I can click on it, make any kind of updates, attachments, any kind of progress updates, due dates, assignments to users can all be handled directly out of here within Teams. So this is a big area that you'd be working with if you're a heavy planner user. You know, a lot of what you'd be doing would be happening here. Also, access to the schedule. So if I click on schedule, if I'm a Microsoft project user, I may want to do quite a few things directly in the browser. So I get real easy access to seeing this. Important part of, this type of scenario or setup is you can have users that are running the project essentials license and they can get access to this part of the schedule and they can check it out and make updates to it, whether it's an assignment, it's changing the duration, changing the scheduled start date, or what have you. They can save it and publish it back without needing that P3 license. And so these schedules are also checked in and checked out. Notice that this one says it's checked in. That's why none of these commands are available to me because I'm basically looking at it as read only. So you're able to share this project information very easily. So that's another compelling reason for using a solution like this. Okay. And then I can go to the QuickStart PPM tab, the last one here, and this is going to drop me directly into the Power App application. And I can very easily within Teams expand that tab. And really, I'm taking over the entire screen. I just have this far left hand side that represents what I'm doing within Teams. So whether it's call related or an upcoming meeting, maybe there's an approval that I'm waiting on. It's all going to, be happening here. And because I was in this particular page, drill down into this project, when the last time I was here, it brings me right back to this location where I can, maybe create a new status report or overlook, a new issue that came across, something like that. I'm going to do everything out of here. If I need to generate a report, I can go to this change area down at the bottom and I can get access to the Power BI reports as I need them, right? They're available to me here. Okay, so there's my dashboard reports. If I'm looking at requests coming through or a project status report or an issues dashboard, they can all be available to me here, right? And if I want to just get out of this, I'm in this expanded view, so I can just collapse that. And notice I'm just simply back in Teams. If I want to go back to files, I can go there or back into the planner or just simply navigate out of this particular location. All right, very good. Thank you guys. Chat with you soon.